question has been framed in such a way that the answer has to be Cadbury's
I'm
5-star destroying Valentine's Day campaign, which I say is the most disruptive campaign as such. But again, let's not forget other brands. There's Tanishq that has done Celebrate Every Love. I think that's also a different take on things,
That's
right?
true.
So that's also a disruptive campaign as such. Yeah.
Namaste, India, and buckle up because welcome to another episode of Echofied brought to you by Unbound Slate. In this episode, we are going to talk about love, chocolates, and chaos. I am Parvati, and we are going to discuss about the viral marketing campaign by Cadbury's 5-star on destroying the Valentine's Day using uncles. Yeah. So if this isn't viral gold in marketing, I don't know what is.
Okay, so while you were talking about destruction and uncles and memes, Aravind, this side, I'm all for Valentine's Day, and I really don't understand the concept or why a brand should essentially go behind destroying Valentine's Day for the past maybe 4-5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So before I start, maybe you can shed some light on that.
It's not a question of why a brand should go against the Valentine's Day. It's because it's a message they are sending across.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like all the brands are for the Valentine's Day, giving hearts, chocolates, and roses. What is the one thing that you can do different and stand out?
But isn't there like a fine line between standing out and then actually doing something different? Isn't there a fine line there?
What is that? You say that doing something different, actually doing something different.
See, you have lots of ways to do something different. You can have a different concept. You can have something which is in line with the celebrations as well. Let's say you take Christmas, right? And then if someone makes an ad of Grinch, or how does that look out? That is not something that brands do, right? Why is that?
That is something I would say that is a really good move if a brand is doing that, because you need to stand out. You don't want to be as a brand. If I'm a brand, I don't want myself to be in a group that is so common.
Okay.
I want to stand out and seen as a separate entity.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then, see, Cadbury's 5-star has been doing it for past few years with their different campaigns. They had one which was Disappearing Valentine's Day.
And Escaping Valentine's Day.
They renamed the island as My Cousin's Wedding. When you say virality, right, 69,000 views is not viral. Right? It's not viral. So if this campaign is actually standing out in users, why is there not any social media engagement? Why are influencers not picking it up, talking about it? Why is that presence on digital media not enhanced to that extent?
It's not a question of whether it is viral or engagement. You cannot say that engagement is not there. So the viral factors is the impact, like this is uncle factor. You can look at any of the thing, like for example, Facebook. I don't think any of the youth is using Facebook anymore.
Makes sense. But then, do you think uncles are going to have an impact on Valentine's Day? Because do you think people like Gen Z and Gen Beta that's coming up, or even the Gen X category, do you think they're going to stop celebrating Valentine's Day just because uncles are involved?
I think only the brands celebrate Valentine's Day now.
Okay.
Not everyone. Because I feel Valentine's Day is something which is very overhyped, and you can make good sales over that time because you are in a social pressure that I have to buy someone something, or because someone else is doing, my friend is doing, so I need to get.
So you're talking about peer pressure there, right?
Yeah, it's basically we are taking advantage of the peer pressure and the societal norms. So apart from that, I don't see that this is a tradition as such as we Indians used to uphold or anything. So
so Valentine's Day might not be a tradition in India, but togetherness, family, connections, that's what builds the foundation, right? For, let's say, Diwali, Onam, Vishu, any festival in India, right? You have numerous festivals across numerous states. It's always celebrated as togetherness or family connection. So, again, why bring up a division in culture with destroying Valentine's Day? Why stand away from, all that family connections and stuff like that?
You're not standing away from family connection or anything. You're actually standing for yourself with this campaign. So if you look at, I think nobody is talking about the single people out there. And you're saying that Cadbury is saying that, eat Cadbury and do nothing. You don't have to be in that peer group. So you're talking about more. I feel like, I'm not sure if that is a real intention of the campaign, but I feel it's more about, I would say, self-love and your own happiness. That you don't need anyone to be happy. You don't need to buy anyone something to be happy.
So you're talking about emotional stability, mental awareness.
Yeah.
Which is a larger topic. But then, yes, if Pfizer actually had done something on that, right, in the campaign itself, they brought that kind of impact, that would have made a lot more sense, is what I believe. Maybe this is something, a feedback.
Maybe, I don't know, or maybe that's a real intention. We don't know about that. But I would say when I look at the campaign, it's like you don't need someone to be happy. It's all this cliche, cringe stuff you see there. And there is one brand that is standing out and says you don't have to belong into all those things. You can be yourself. Do nothing. You don't have to give excuses to people. You have no commitments other than a commitment to yourself. So sit and do nothing and eat 5-star. What's wrong with that?
Okay, so but again, going back to the campaigns as such, it always revolves around some kind of participation from user, right?
Yeah.
You had your My Cousin's Wedding Island, you have uncles being onboarded right now, you have a beautiful website, you have videos on YouTube, stuff like that. But what is the end result of the competition? I couldn't find anything as such when I was Googling who has won the competition, who has done it. Why is such content not there out there? I mean, they put a video, brilliant Ogilvy move that they've done this. But where is the result of all this campaign, or where are the reports?
It's not the reports. If you look at the chocolate market as such, it's a huge market. You have people from different age category, and 5-star has been there for years.
Big player.
And they don't actually need a campaign to stand out because sales will happen no matter what. But then it's to make some kind of a difference and show their presence. And one major thing which I would say, you're saying that there is no reports or engagement, the activities they're not showing. I'm not sure about that. I haven't checked myself. But then one thing which I would find it interesting is consistently they're saying the same thing. If you look at any, not just Valentine's Day campaign, if you take any of the 5-star ad campaign,
more relaxed.
Yeah, it's more talking about you don't have to have any kind of logic. They give about it's all a fantasy ads they make. It's never a slice of life ad like a Dairy Milk ad.
So you're also agreeing to the fact that this destruction of Valentine's Day is a fantasy ad, and that is not possible. Are you agreeing to that?
I'm not saying like that. I don't know why you're so obsessed with Valentine's Day. Coming back to the topic, then it's not. I'm not saying that it's a fantasy or anything. It's a good genius marketing move, and they're consistent. They're like, last year, the year before that, every year they're talking about the same thing. We don't want to celebrate Valentine's Day. So what? You're consistent with your brand. So that's the one thing I would look for in a brand, is that being consistent, unlike your boyfriend who keeps changing your word.
Okay. Yeah. So again. Every day there are new brands coming up, right? Even in the chocolate industry space as such, there are new brands coming up. If Pfizer has been doing such an outstanding marketing brilliance move, why are other brands not picking it up? Why is no one else picking such things up?
I'm not saying that no one is picking it. There are brands who does it. We are just focusing on 5-star here, but there are other brands who are more talking about about the singles and supporting their side. It's not a division or anything. See, what we are trying to see is no matter what, Valentine's Day is Valentine's Day. But then how do you use that particular opportunity when there is an opportunity? I think that's
what we were speaking about in the first few episodes, with the brand standing out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
makes sense.
So it's how you utilize, whether you want to go for Valentine's Day or you say you're going against Valentine's Day. It's basically are you there making some kind of noise and showing your presence? Are you there in the spotlight as a brand? That's what more important is. And then obviously you are talking about, I would say, self-care and your own happiness.
They're indirectly talking about it.
Like I said,
I think that's what everyone seeing the ad should understand, right? That it
Maybe
comes
that's
from
the subtle,
messaging.
messages.
Or
there.
it could be just that someone at 5-star is heartbroken completely.
Yeah, I definitely think that is the main reason.
Okay.
Someone is heartbroken there for years and
And they've been coming out with campaigns, right?
campaigns. Yeah.
Okay, so 5-star comes from a parent group which has a lot of other chocolate brands as such, right? So doesn't this also create a conflict within that when Dairy Milk talks about love? They've been bringing back old ads, right, wherein you had a female running onto the cricket
Kuch
ground,
Khas Hai campaign.
and then it changed into a male person running onto the cricket ground where a woman's batsman was playing. So all these brands are talking about love as such, right? Connection. And when 5-star is coming out with a completely different opposite this thing, right? So how does it affect a parent company, or what do you think leads up to that?
There's no cannibalizing happening here. They are not eating into the market share of each other. Mainly because the segments they're focusing is two entirely different segments. And also, if you look at the two ads of Dairy Milk and 5-star, it's a very good comparison. You can do same mother company, but two different product lines, two different way of pushing the product into the marketplace. One, Dairy Milk is very much, we'll say, something which we value so much. Something
close to our hearts.
Close to our hearts. Something which we easily replaced with Indian sweets.
True.
Yeah, because earlier we used to share Diwali sweets, homemade sweets. Now you can grab a box of Dairy Milk.
Yeah, which will have everything.
Yeah, everything.
So that also has 5-star.
That also has 5-star.
Yeah,
It's a gift hamper. But I'm saying that how slowly. But the main thing is that Dairy Milk. It's sweetness. Dairy Milk means sweetness, happiness. Sweetness, happiness. So that is their brand positioning. And if you look at a 5-star, they're not talking about sweetness or happiness. It's more of cokiness, and there's no logic of
getting lost in the chocolate.
Yeah, getting lost in chocolate and enjoying yourself. So nobody, if you look at all the ads of 5-star, it's like you're getting lost in that dream world.
Suresh and Ramesh,
once you start eating 5-star, you forget everything else.
I think that has become very, very viral campaign.
That
Suresh
was
and
Ramesh was a beautifully done thing. So that's the brand message here is always the same. You eat this, you forget everything else. That is consistently they have been saying, and Dairy Milk is also saying the same thing. Not the same thing. What they stand for, that is sharing, happiness, love, caring. So that's entirely a different area, and this is entirely a different thing.
So as a parent company, they're catering to all categories. That's what essentially it is, right?
Yes, all categories.
Okay, so again, another question I have is why not just do Suresh and Ramesh campaign during Valentine's Day also? Why bring in destruction, vanishing, disappearing, all those kind of keywords when there's lots of destruction happening all around the world, right? I mean, it's a different destruction, but then still, why not just keep doing the Ramesh and Suresh ad, or bring in a different concept within the Ramesh and Suresh ads instead of talking about.
Maybe you can send a suggestion to them to do the same. But then, it is. It brings to the same logic as such as being different, and that is their normal ad campaign. And when you have an event or something, those students stand out. I mean, there should be brands that support single people also, right? Brands that have to support people who doesn't want to celebrate Valentine's Day too.
True.
Yeah. So have 5-star and do nothing.
Makes sense. Okay. So, Parvati, what do you think, smaller brands, 5-star and Cadbury's has a lot of resources, financial capabilities to take campaigns to such big levels, right? So, what do you think are the viral mechanisms that a young company or a bold new company in the chocolate industry or any other industry should follow for the campaigns to go viral?
To go viral means is to do something that stands out or something that has a potential or which is already in place. For example, I'll give the uncle factor, which is a viral thing here. Is that already the uncles have been trolled
Mm-hmm.
in social media for copying a dance move, and there are memes out of it. It is a buzz, and it's like when an older generation is doing that, the younger generation tries to move away from it. So that is already in place. So when you're doing something in similar lines, obviously your chances to go viral is high. But then I would say it's like a double-edged sword.
Okay.
Sometimes it can backfire too, and you might not reach your expectations. But yeah, that is a risk which you should take.
Yeah, I think there was a diamond jewelry ad which backfired in the sense there was an intercaste religion in this marriage. It backfired a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. So it comes down to being careful, right? Even though you position yourself, it comes down to being careful.
Yeah.
Otherwise, even big brands can fall down.
Yeah. Very much true.
Yeah.
Very much true. It can happen any. So next is a rapid fire round.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start with a couple of questions, and I know it will be going to be completely biased because you've been so for the Valentine's Day.
Pro Valentine's. Yeah.
Anyway, to the first question.
Okay.
Which campaign do you think is being the most disruptive, which is going against the traditional narratives this year?
See, I think the question has been framed in such a way that the answer has to be Cadbury's 5-star destroying Valentine's Day campaign, which I say is the most disruptive campaign as such. But again, let's not forget other brands, there's Tanishq that has done Celebrate Every Love.
Yeah.
I think that's also a different take on things,
Very
right?
true.
So that's also a disruptive campaign as such,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What do you think is a key ingredient that makes a campaign go viral?
Okay, so in today's world, I think it's more about how a brand is positioned in itself, right? Let's say, so Cadbury's 5-star, they have this wow shock factor, right? They're talking about something completely different, and then they're taking sides and they're actually catering to a certain set of audience as well at the same time, right? Which has helped it go viral. Dairy Milk, on the other hand, would maybe do something like a love, celebration, connection, but still go viral at the same time, right? Burger King had this moldy Whopper ad, so that was very shocking and had a wow factor to it, which created virality. So it's all about how you understand your audience and how you position yourself in that market, right? And definitely a bit of luck.
Very true. Yeah. So based on that, which campaign you think has been the luckiest for being into the meme culture?
So I think meme culture wise, what is going to be, it's definitely going to be Cadbury's 5-stars. So this thing wherein you have your uncles, let's say content like that gets out. I think that's scope for a lot of GIFs and a lot of memes and stuff like that. But apart from that, I think Tinder's swipe right campaign. I think that is also meme worthy as such.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. How crucial is interactive user-generated content in these days?
So interactive user-generated content is always crucial for any campaign, any brand, 24/7, 365 days a year, right? Basically, even if someone goes outside to have an ice cream at a normal cart seller, right? They take an ice cream, they buy the ice cream, they take a story of it and put it in tag Amul or Mother Dairy or any other brand that they purchase essentially. This is it also goes beyond the digital phase wherein word of mouth is there. There's a lot of other marketing aspects to it. So I think user generated content is very, very critical, and that has to be there in all campaigns.
Okay. So that brings me to the next question. That is, which campaign you think has been very good in tapping into the local cultural quirks in India?
Okay, so local cultural quirks. So splitting it down, quirks, right? Quirks is where your uncle's destroying fads, destroying trends, destroying virality, and then building on that virality. So I would say 5-stars campaign of destroying Valentine's Day, right? But local, again, I would say Tanishq. Mostly, I think a lot of these jewelry brands, like that sells gold, jewelry, diamond, silver, all those kind of brands. These kind of brands have come up with a very emotional way of coming out of ads. Right, Tanishq did that. They took a showcase of modern love. with family traditions as well, right?
Very true.
So if you've not seen that ad, I think you should go check it out as such.
It's a very good ad. Yeah. So, how important is influencer collaboration in these campaigns?
I think we were discussing this in the episode as such as well. I could not see any content generated by influencers on 5 stars as such. So I think influencers are important, but it's all about execution, right?
Yeah.
You have to find the right influencers. They might have 2 million followers or even 10,000 followers. It doesn't matter, but finding the right fit and the execution has to be proper at the end of the day, right? But then every content, every purchase, I'd say more than 50% happens on influencer basis. The authority they have on the masses is a lot, and the trust people put in such influencers as well. It's quite high nowadays, right? So I think influencer marketing is critical. Taking an example of a brand as Chiku is the king of fruits, and they did that launch of the brand ambassador as Virat Kohli. I think a lot of influencers got on board with that. Photo of the egg, which reached a lot of views, it was shared by a lot of influencers. So I think influencer marketing is definitely important with the right piece of execution.
Yeah. So do you prefer campaigns that pull at your heartstrings or that are shock and engage?
Okay, so that's more of a personal opinion, I would say. I would like to see something that pulls at the heartstrings in a different way as such, in a different concept altogether, right? Rather than having a shocky and wow factor. But I think more viral content is what is shocking, right? And wow factor is. So for the sake of virality, it may be more towards virality or for the sake of standing out of the brand positioning and stuff like that. So it might be the shocking and wow factor as such, but for me personally, it's more of the emotional.
Okay. Yeah. So, do you think virality alone can ensure brand loyalty?
Definitely not. So, virality in itself is very short-lived and trend-based, right? A trend comes up one day, it gets killed another day, another trend comes up. It's a fad, right? Just like why 5 stars using Uncle. Yeah, they apparently kill all trends, right? That is the 5-star concept, right? So if you bank your brand on trends, how can you keep changing your language, your positioning? You can't keep doing it, right? At some point, your positioning, your branding is not going to match that trend. What do you do at that point?
True.
Right? So we have seen brands that have picked up inventory, stocked up on inventory just because they got one video which has 1 million views. And the next video is 500 views. I don't see the sense in that. It has to be a sustainable, organic growth. Right? It has to, numbers have to increase day on day or month on month or year on year. Whatever we are comparing, the numbers have to increase sustainably. And I think that's the right approach that smaller brands and other brands should take out there as such.
Yeah. And what kind of disruptive strategies you are saying, that comes out in campaigns on a Valentine's Day in, let's say, another 5 years?
Okay, so I think, let's say next 5 years, anything can happen, right? With AI booming, with metaverse booming, it can be 2 avatars, virtual avatars talking to themselves on an Xverse, on a metaverse land, right? That can happen. Ads can come out of that. I think only Coca-Cola is very intuitively using AI-based ads at the moment. I think AI-based ads can also be there, can be the future. As it's more and more affordable, I think such ads, such concepts can always come out from AI side. Or we could also see a shift to traditional marketing trends. Wherein I was seeing this campaign where there was a QR code and then it was written, John, I know you cheated on me. This is the proof.
I saw that.
And I was seeing a lot of people swamping over it and scanning the QR code, which takes you to an offer of a pizza place or something. Right? So it can be, I think that can be a good viral.
It is. I mean, it is a good kind of strategy.
There's one more thing I saw wherein a man was placed inside a box. Right? There was a QR code on the box. He was running around. And you had to catch that person and scan him to get a free pizza. So maybe such traditional quirks will also come back. So it can be a mix and match of both. Let's just hope that there's creativity out there, and brands come up with such campaigns, try more innovative approaches, take risks. So I think that's a future I look forward to.
So that's great, and with that, I guess it's almost like a concluding to a podcast.
Okay.
Also, hoping that there is more creativity with AI coming into the picture.
So
And
I'll cut you here, right here. I think I would like to say each 5-star, do something.
I would say eat 5-star, do nothing, and be happy also. Yeah. So with
Or-
that,
Yeah,
we
I
are
think
done.
if you have anything, you can comment down. If you're aware of more comments, more campaigns. Sorry, more campaigns as such. Feel free to comment down, and we'll have a look at it. Right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right.
Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's Day, guys. Thank you.